Hello and welcome to On The Break, your place to get your fix of FIFA Club World Cup action just while the tournament takes a bit of a breather between rounds. The quarterfinals, well, they provided us plenty of action and we've got a couple of cracking semi-final ties en route. And make no mistake, for these four sides, the heat is about to get turned up.
Here's Martinelli, lift off for Fluminense! Koulibaly finding space, and it's in! Marcos Leonardo is Hercules! Fluminense are through!
Palmer, lovely turn. Cole Palmer setting himself up and getting the goal for Chelsea. Zextave out, the touch is good, the shot's even better! Wow. It's right across, oh! Malo Gusto restores their lead. Chelsea are into the semi-finals.
Due's there! PSG have the breakthrough in Atlanta!
Oh, a referee with the red card in his hand.
There's another red card. Lucas Hernandez. Achraf Hakimi. Ousmane Dembele! What a moment! In the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, PSG are through to the semi-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. Arda Güler. Oh, he's there again. Gonzalo Garcia. In by Trent Alexander-Arnold. And from Garcia. Only half clear. This is Maxi Bayer. The cross. Mbappe! So Howson Red, no attempt to play the ball. Goes high and finds the target. Oh, what a save, Thibaut Courtois! And that is that. Real Madrid are now only one game from the final.
Joining us on this episode, Mayor Quadri. How are you, pal?
I'm well, how are you?
Great to have you with us. And the brilliant Lies Bouzidi is back once again. Mate, what have you made of the quarterfinals?
Incredible games. Obviously, we've done with the press as well too, so shout out to that. But now, back here and getting ready to talk about the games.
Great to have you both with us on this episode. We should start, however, by marking a tragedy that really did hit the world of football last week. The sad passing of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre following a car crash in Spain. The world of football has come out to mourn two of the game's most loved individuals. Diogo, of course, was a Premier League winner with Liverpool Football Club. He was heading back for pre-season when his car crashed in Spain. Lies, you followed Diogo's career quite closely. He just brought joy to everyone, didn't he? In the way he played and the way he carried himself.
No, absolutely. A wonderful player, a Portuguese international as well too. Let's not forget he won the Nations League as of late. I think all you need to see is the outpour of tributes throughout the footballing world. We saw Mbappe and Dembele as well, two dedicating celebrations to kind of showcase what kind of person this guy was.
Amaro, the world of football, I mean, naturally has seen an outpouring of emotion. What have you witnessed? What have you seen?
I think I've seen a collective coming together of everyone within football. It's a really poignant moment that you don't ever expect to happen. Someone that you're watching in real time to pass alongside, you know, a family member. It is really saddening. I think at a time like this, what's been really, really cutting through is that there's this collective feeling of people realizing that there is more to life than football. It's been refreshing to see everyone be super respectful, but reminisce on what a great human being he was, and it's a hard time for everyone in football.
He put smiles on faces.
He did. He did.
He really did. And DAZN joins the rest of the football family in wishing the very best, sending love and thoughts to the family of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre, who have sadly both passed away. So our first stop on our quarterfinal review with Fluminense beating Al Hilal 2-1. Let's hear from our reporter Matt Farias.
They have done it! Fluminense advances to the semi-final of the FIFA Club World Cup, and this is why we love this game. Underdogs versus Inter Milan doesn't matter. Underdogs versus Al Hilal, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as Renato Portaluppi, the coach of Fluminense, says, it's all about who wants it more. And let me tell you, this team wants it, the fans want it, and now they'll be going to MetLife Stadium for the semi-final match against Chelsea. What a game!
Great energy there from Matt Mayo. I mean, pure through the roof. Naturally as well. Look at the atmosphere.
It's a big moment. It's a big, big moment if you think about it. Representing the nation, as he said, again and again and again, they've managed to just get through, and I can see why he's bubbling, because all of their fans are as well.
Fluminense, the underdogs, versus what I call the swagger of Al Hilal, and it was the veterans that got them through, Liaz.
I mean, it's one of the oldest teams at the tournament, if not the oldest. They got Thiago Silva back there, but their goalkeeper is actually the one I think is going under the radar. 44 years old, the most clean sheets in football history. The guy is you talk about veteran. My goodness.
Pele numbers, yeah. Clean sheets. I looked at the numbers, I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
Sheets.
But no, I mean, Fluminense have been an absolute joy at this tournament. But I think that veteran leadership and the experience as well too has really done well for them in knockout football, because they just know how to get through these kinds of games.
The Samba beat still very much going at the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Chelsea are also through to the semi-finals. They beat Palmeiras. Let's hear from our reporter, Kweko Afare.
Chelsea are through to the semi-final of the Club World Cup. They beat Palmeiras 2-1 here in Philadelphia. A first-half goal for Cole Palmer and an own goal in the second half have secured Chelsea's place in the Final Four. They take on Thiago Silva's Fluminense in the semi-final. Can they win it? Stay tuned to DAZN to find out.
Mauro Stretchy on Chelsea. João Pedro coming in. Another signing.
Another signing.
But he looked at home. He looked decent.
He got stuck in. I think that's been the nature of Chelsea's tournament. They've brought in players, thrown them in, and they've really built into this tournament. It's a very young squad that is getting results, and fresh off winning a trophy, they look like they want to win another trophy. And of course, it's an interesting game when you're playing against a future player and he scores a goal like that, and that's 3 man of the match performances for us throughout this tournament. But it just goes to show that they really want to do something here. They recognise the moment it is. You can hear Cole talking about, we want to win trophies. I suspect that they feel that they can win this.
Loads of talk of Abel Ferreira and Esteval and Palmeiras coming into the tournament, Liaz. What have you made of their campaign?
I think they've really done a good showing, to be honest with you. I think Esteval, for a 17-year-old, sometimes I look at him, I think that's a lot of pressure to be putting on a young kid like that. And I thought he had a decent tournament. I know he had the 3 superior player of the matches, but I don't think he was Palmeiras' best player at all times. I actually look at Richard Rios and I thought he was amazing. But give credit to Esteval, doing that against your former team on a stage like that, when again, all the eyes are on you, it takes a lot. And Palmeiras have made a really good showing, but unfortunately the road ends here. So,
Mayo, Chelsea to take on Fluminense in the semi-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. And it's the return of an old friend, isn't it? Thiago Silva, the old warhorse against his old club.
The legend, man. He wasn't at the club for a long time, but he is deemed a legend. In my eyes, that is a future Chelsea manager. There's no qualms about it. He's learning his English, his family's still in London. So I think it's a big game, it's a big reunion, of course. It's going to be tricky. I mean, you've got suspensions to Delap, you've got suspension to Colwell, but they've been making loads of signings, so players can come in. Be interesting to see what happens with Reece James. He didn't play. He's saying he is fit to play in the next game. So does he go back in central midfield? Does he come into right back? Maresca's tried a lot so far in this tournament. He's treated it like a mini pre-season, but all of the signs have shown that he is finding new ways to operate with this team. So be exciting.
With Enzo Maresca, Liaz, it feels like an experiment every single match day. You don't know what Chelsea's going to turn up, how they're going to play, and what style. The question is the pressure on them because of the stature of the club?
I mean, they come into this game as overwhelming favourites. Let's be real. But the problem for them, I think, is that every team that's come up against Fluminense this tournament have been big favourites. Dortmund were favourites and they couldn't beat them. Inter, now Al Hilal as well too. So again, this isn't a side that are afraid to secede possession. They're very happy to do so. And I look at this and I think it is experience versus youth, but I look at Chelsea and I just think they have a bit too much quality and they could be on their way to the final.
On the other side of the draw, we saw a heavyweight clash between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. PSG winning that one 2-0. With more, here's our reporter, Jorge Quirinho Chavez.
Hello everybody, what I can tell you is that the PSG players were very happy after this win against Bayern Munich. Captain Marquinhos told us it was a very important win after an intense game, a bit of revenge after past defeat against Bayern. Luis Enrique said he was very proud of his team. Ousmane Dembélé scored a goal and this is important for the Ballon d'Or, you know, so everything is perfect, or not perfect because of this 2 red cards for PSG for for Lucas Hernandez and for William Pacho. So, well, we will see how Luis Enrique will fix it. But now for PSG's to New York for the semi-finals.
Straight to it, guys. What about this was a great contest between two of European football's heavyweights. Liaz, I'll come to you straight away. Can anyone stop Paris Saint-Germain?
Right now, I look around Europe and they are without a doubt the best team. And by a good distance, in my opinion, as well, too. But it's not just the fact that they keep winning. The style in which they win. I challenge you guys really to name me a team in the last few years that throughout their side, they see so much rotation in possession as PSG. You see Hakimi playing right back, then midfield, then right wing, then number 10. And then I see him in center forward positions. When he moves, someone else takes his place, and then someone takes... There's such a fluid machine at the moment. And then when you have Dembele, a Ballon d'Or contender, maybe the Ballon d'Or favorite, returning to action and scoring the way he does, Real Madrid will be the next opposition, obviously, but I worry for them and I worry for everyone else.
They are machine-like in everything they do. So well drilled by Luis Enrique.
Really well drilled. I got to see them out in the Club World Cup against Seattle actually whilst I was reporting, and you can just see they have confidence in what they're doing. What I really liked about this win in particular was they've done it at the depth. They're willing to do whatever they need to do and keep confidence in the system, and I think that's why it's a worry for any team in the world. They won't falter from what they're doing.
The final team to secure their spot in the semi-finals was Real Madrid with a 3-2 victory over Borussia Dortmund. With more, here's our reporter Matt Cannon.
Real Madrid have done it. They are through to the semi-finals of this FIFA Club World Cup. And to be honest, they controlled the game up until the 90th minute. They went 2 goals up, courtesy of yet another Gonzalo Garcia goal and a goal from an unexpected hero from Fran Garcia. But they did suffer, they did sweat a little bit at the end. Dortmund managed to score a couple of goals, but it was Kylian Mbappe with a gorgeous bicycle kick. What a way to mark his return that saw Real Madrid walk away with the win. That is it. Real Madrid are through to the semi-finals. Lots of excitement to see them take on PSG here in New Jersey.
So Xabi Alonso's new look Real Madrid through to the semi-finals of the Club World Cup 2025. Liaz, everyone, however, is looking at Gonzalo Garcia.
This kid, there's some players that are just born to score goals. He is one of those players. He's always in the right place at the right time, and that comes through a real instinct, a real hunger to score goals. And his finishing on top of that. He has the finishing, the ruthlessness of a player 6 years his elder. So at the moment, obviously, they're bringing back Kylian Mbappe slowly but surely. He, of course, scored a wonderful goal, and we know he's one of the best players in the world. But this kid, Gonzalo Garcia, for someone who has such a huge presence kind of waiting in his background, waiting for him to slip up to get that opportunity, it doesn't feel like he feels that pressure whatsoever. I've been so impressed, and I think if you're looking at a player who's really marked this tournament as his own, it has to be him.
Mayo, talk to me about Real Madrid. Particularly towards the end of that game, we saw a red card for Dean Howson. Did they kind of lose control a bit?
I think it turned into silly hours. What I've seen of Real Madrid over this tournament is a team that is downloading new information. You know, like when you get a new phone and you're doing an update. That's what they're doing. Like they're learning new coaching patterns. Xabi Alonso is saying we're going to do 5 at the back, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And unlike a PSG, what we spoke about, there's not the full confidence in it yet. So when something goes a bit left, there's a bit of panic. But they're playing really well. The young players in particular are standing up. Good team and good place to be in for them.
So the second semi-final is an absolutely mouth-watering clash. 2 giants of European football meet for a place in the Club World Cup final. Liaz, break this one down for us.
I mean, the current Champions League holders versus the record Champions League winners, Mbappe versus his former side. There's so many different storylines here, but I think ultimately, when you look at both sides, it's a team that really is familiar with where they are. They know their system, they know everything about themselves to the max, versus a side that has grown into this tournament game in, game out, right? In the first few moments under Alonso, I think there were a few hiccups, and then he switched the new system, and again, a few more hiccups. But right now, especially the game they just played against Dortmund, that looked like them at their best so far. But ultimately, I think this game will be won in the midfield. Arda Güler has made a huge impact, but when you look at Vitinha, you look at Neves, you look at Fabian Ruiz as well, too. I think ultimately that could be the difference. And if I have to pick midfield versus midfield, Madrid's is great, but I think PSG is just a bit more confident in themselves at the moment.
So anyone that knows Alonso very well knows that in terms of his managerial style, he's all about coaching, but he is a coach that's about moments. You look at what he did with Bayer Leverkusen, key moments about defeating key opposition. And I think in terms of trying to create what he wants to create at Real, this is the perfect opportunity to put a line in the sand and say, I mean business here. I think in terms of facing a well-oiled machine against PSG, it's going to be difficult, but one thing he does have is game changers in abundance. We still haven't seen Jude at his best. Mbappe is warming up. And of course, as you mentioned, we've got the top goal scorer of the tournament so far. There are things that Madrid can look to be really pivotal in this game, and I think they could cause a surprise.
So guys, prediction time. I've got to ask you who you believe we'll be seeing play in the MetLife Stadium in the FIFA Club World Cup Final 2025.
I go Chelsea on one side. I think they'll have too much for Fluminense. But the Real Madrid PSG one, I think I go PSG as well too. I think that they're so good at the moment. I think they'll have a little too much for Real Madrid. So honestly, I expect PSG versus Chelsea.
I've got Chelsea. I think it'll be a tough game though. I don't think it will be a walkover. I think it will go the distance in actual fact. They're going to be up against a really resilient side. And I think this is the game where Real Madrid announce their new era. I think PSG are a very tough, competent side. And of course, they have got the red cards. I don't think it affects them tremendously, but there would have been enough in that game that Madrid have seen and thought we can do something. And I think, for me, a player that may stand out, I think Jude will finally come to the party.
It's a big claim, but we're here for it.
Someone's got to do it.
That's it for this episode of On The Break. We'll be back after the semi-finals as we build up to the big one, the FIFA Club World Cup 2025 final. As ever, don't forget you can watch every single game live and in free on DAZN. We can't wait for these semi-finals. We hope you're looking forward to them too.